All right, we are live. We're here nice and early just to make sure we get everything right. Yes. Okay. All right, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here early. Okay, we've just started a little early just to make sure that everyone is here, giving everyone lots of time. And we'll be joined by Octavia in just a minute, who will be channeling for us today. I hope you can all hear me well. Okay. All right. Looks like Octavia is here to join us. Hi, Yola. Hi, Carmen. Thanks for being here. And let's see. Okay, there we go. There's Octavia. Hi, Octavia.
Hi, Juanu. I'm very happy to see you today and to be here with everyone else.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for being here. I know we tried this before. I'm glad we're logging in nicely today and nice on time.
That's lovely. That's lovely. I'm very happy that everything works fine.
Yeah. I have to say it's my first time doing live on Facebook. So yeah, all seems to be going well, but and there'll be many more to come, I guess. I'm getting used to being in front of the camera.
That's wonderful. Everything will go just fine.
Yeah.
So thank you for those who are already here. We are going to start in 30 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Then see you then.
Okay, you'll come back then. I'm gonna stay on.
You're going to stay on. Oh, okay. Then we can also already start. For me, that's perfectly fine.
We could do, Octavia, just we could maybe chat a little bit about other things that we probably wouldn't get time to chat about in the actual session. Like you're in Germany, I'm in South Africa. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself and your story.
I would happily do so. First,
because you tell us a little bit of how you got to Germany. I know you've had a long road there.
Well, I got to Germany because my ex-partner was living here, and then we decided somehow to live together, and this is how I got to live in Germany. But now I would say that it was really a great decision. I love the country here. I love the people here, and it's a really great environment.
Yeah.
And quite different from my home country, from Romania, and quite different from the countries where I lived before.
Yeah.
But it's a really lovely place. And of course,
you can channel in Romanian and English, obviously. That's it, huh? So you can channel in both.
I can channel in English, I can channel in Romanian, and I would think about channeling in Spanish, maybe in the future.
Very cool. Nice.
But I also think that probably until I would expand a bit my Spanish skills, we might have some really great AIs to translate everything. So it might be not needed until then.
That's true. There probably is an AI to translate it perfectly well already in any language, which is nice. Hi, welcome, Sonal, my friend Sonal. So nice to see you. Yasenka, welcome everyone. We'll get started in 10 minutes, but we're just having some chit chats. And Octavia is one of our new channel, well, not so new. You've been with us for a few months in Oracle, and very, very exciting. And I've had a channeling session with you, Octavia, and it's been fantastic. Octavia and I have been chatting a lot over the last few months, and you also teach how to channel, right?
Yes, and this is my favorite part of it, to teach how to channel. And nowadays I became really, really interested in teaching other things like remote viewing and how to develop the ability of being telepathic and how to spontaneous manifest and all this. I've been channeling from the nine-dimensional Pleiadian collective or the other cosmic groups.
Right.
So that would be my favorite part of all.
And you were a psychologist before you became a channeler, correct?
And I'm still a psychologist. I'm still a psychologist
Oh,
and a
really?
psychotherapist. And I have a master degree in hypnotherapy. And I'm really interested in the field, actually. So I really hope that in the very near future, I will start my PhD in the field of parapsychology. And then maybe we can play a bit and explore more in the scientific field of channeling. That would be really lovely.
Yeah, and I know that you love to incorporate some science into everything you do. You've actually sent me the link of this amazing lady that actually has done a lot of studies in the brain when people are meditating. And I know she did a lot on channelers as well. And you've also had an EEG, right, connected to your brain while you were meditating. Tell us about that. Maybe that's super interesting before we hit 9 o'clock. Or
Yeah, that was really, really interesting. That happened at the very beginning of my journey with channeling, and it motivated me to go on. Because of my very analytic and logical mind, I was not so much into this kind of spirituality. So now I can say that if it wouldn't have been for that, I wouldn't have actually continued with it. But because I had EEG and then I could see what happens in the brain while channeling, and I've realized how the brain waves change immediately when I start to channel, and then how they return to the normal, the beta waves when I finish channeling.
right.
And what are the brain centers that are being activated while I channel. And by realizing that, it motivated me so much to go further on this journey. It was like having the proof in my face, and to say, yeah, okay, that's it. We can go on with that and find out even more. So I'm very, very grateful to this.
I love that. Yeah, and as people, we do want that proof, right? As human beings, we're just kind of desperate for like solid scientific proof. So I love that, and we will definitely be incorporating some of that to explain to people what exactly channeling is, and yeah, just to give some data and some scientific data, because it's very much a real thing. I mean, in terms of the things that you saw, you said how your brainwave changed. I mean, what exactly were the changes?
So you could see it how immediately as I start to channel, the brainwaves shift from the beta state to the theta state. That was perfectly obvious. It just happened immediately, and then as I finished channeling, it just returned to the beta state.
Right.
So that was one of the things that we've discovered, and the other thing was that, and this is what she shared with me, what Ruth shared with me, is that normally when we talk, there is a center which is called the thinking center, which is active. So in this case, while I was channeling, that was not active at all. That was like there was no thinking, and it was like someone else would talk through me. So no activity in this in the thinking center, which would normally be active while we are talking.
Exactly.
Then another thing was noticed that another center, which is called the translation center, is responsible for this, was very much active even when I was channeling in my own language. Therefore, another very, very interesting fact, because what I have learned by channeling is that what the brain does is to translate the vibration into normal language. And this is exactly what we could actually see on the EEG, that this kind of a sort of translation
Yeah.
was taking place.
Yeah.
So once more, it confirmed that what I've learned through channeling, it actually it is there, and it's very much real. Of course, there is so much more to discover, and I think we are so much at the beginning of this journey, and mostly when it comes to the science of
Yeah.
it, we are definitely going into the right direction, but we are so much at the beginning of it.
Yes.
And I am so grateful for all those who bring this change into the world, and they make so much research on this field. So it's, I would say we can stay very much optimistic related to this topic.
100%. Yeah, we see it more and more. I don't know if it's just because we're in the industry, but it's a growing interest, and people are also incorporating it more into their normal day-to-day life. It's not woo-woo speak anymore. It's I speak about channeling all the time, and very comfortably so. And a lot of people have heard about it. A lot of people are very interested in it. And I think it probably wouldn't have been the same, 10, 15, 20 years ago. So I think it's the right time, to get this more out into the world. I'm excited, for what we're doing. Welcome to everyone. Welcome, Renee, Janita. I think Asha was here, Diana. It's so great to see you guys. Um, I'm so excited for this. We're going to be doing a channeling session a month, and it's just a wonderful way for people to see what it's all about and to ask some questions. Throughout the today, you can ask questions. You can even post them now if you want. I've got some questions already lined up. We can't get to so many. I know that sometimes when the entities answer, it can be lengthy or it can be short. So we'll see how we go. But welcome, Ambrose. It's nice to see you guys. We'll get started in 3 minutes. Yeah, hi, Christine. So a couple of the people watching are new channelers. So if you haven't been to oracle.com, Octavia is one of our channelers that you can book a private session through, and there's a few others and more coming. Just such a wonderful group of people. We had our company launch a few days ago, and everybody got to know everybody else, and it was just a loving space, right? I mean, what a blessing for me to be working with you guys. I love it.
It was actually, for me, it was the most special meeting I ever had.
Oh,
It was so amazing to meet everyone else, and then to have this strong feeling that it's actually not the first time when I meet them.
really?
And it was such a powerful encountering with everyone. It was really, really lovely.
It really was. Yeah, it was just very awakened people, very caring. I mean, I think that we all have the same goal, right? It's just to help humanity, to help people realize who they are and help them live the best lives. And I think that mission is so strong in everyone in the company that it just makes the whole company like that much stronger. And it felt like no ego and a lot of heart. It was lovely. Yeah.
Definitely, our common intentions bring us together, and this creates the whole vibrational background from where this project came into life. So it has quite a lot of power, I would say, and it has a lot of love power, I would say.
Yes.
So I'm sure that its outcomes will be very much aligned to that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Okay, I think it's nine, almost, well, it's here, I'm in South Africa, it's 9 o'clock, whatever time it is all over the world. Octavia is in Europe, it's 8 o'clock for you there. So, yeah. All right. So we're gonna kick off, everyone. Thank you again so much, everyone, for being here. It's such an honor and such a pleasure. I'm Wenu Solsona, and I'm the founder of Oracle, our very, very recently launched platform for channelers and for you guys to have private sessions with channelers, which is really like, I think, the best therapy session that anybody could ever have, in my humble opinion. But tonight we have Octavia Vasile, and Octavia is one of our vetted channelers, who her and I have become sort of friends, I guess, over the last few weeks. I have so much respect and admiration and love for you, Octavia. So thank you for being here, Octavia. And yeah, I'd just like to say that tonight is our first session, so I'm sure everything will go very well. We're very thankful that you're here, and please feel free to comment right through, especially when it comes to asking questions later on. What we'll do is we'll do just I'll ask Octavia a few introductory questions, so you get to know her and what's going to happen, and then she'll go into the channeling state, and she'll tell us who she'll be channeling, and there we'll be able to ask some questions. So that's when you have the opportunity to ask your question. And then we'll see how long that goes, maybe 20, 30 minutes, and then we'll close off. She'll come back to her normal state, and we'll close off with a brief farewell. So, Octavia, welcome again. And I'd like to start off with asking you perhaps what is channeling, because I know a lot of people watching today are actually very new to this concept. So could you tell us what channeling is?
So hi, Wenu, and hi everyone. Thank you very much for your invitation. It's really lovely to be here and to feel the presence of everyone being here. Thank you very much for your kind words as well and feedback. And when it comes to channeling, where we don't really have a definition by now. We don't really have a scientific definition by now, but what it means is to be able to, like from a scientific point of view, it'd be to be able to shift to a deeper state of mind, to an altered state of mind, and that would be the theta state or the gamma state of mind, and to access information through the subconscious mind in this way. So if we wish to give a scientific definition, that would be, if we wish to give a more spiritual definition, that would be through our subconscious mind, and by accessing the altered state of mind, we would connect with another source, which can be a cosmic being, it can be another entity, can be an angel, an archangel, and so on, depending how people define them. So I hope this definition is somehow it matches your expectations.
When I first came across channeling, I have to say I was a skeptic, and I was like, no ways, how is this possible? But I heard it through friends that I trust very much, and I started listening to channeled messages, and I was blown away. I mean, this is the reason why I started this company. The information it rang so true to me. And I think that that's the thing, right? We all have inside of us this knowing, we all have the knowledge inside of us. And so when something, the truth is spoken, you kind of feel it, kind of in your heart. That was my experience. And I know it comes from many different cosmic beings, and that's very difficult for us to sometimes wrap our head around. But I think the importance is in the message, right? What is being said, and is it helpful to you? Can you apply it to your life? And that's really one of the reasons I love this so much, because I think it is. And on that, how can a channeling session benefit somebody? So if somebody has a session with you, what are the benefits to a client?
So I would say that they are the ones who shall say it. But because, well, we don't question them right now, and I have quite some feedback from the people I've been working all these years. I would say that one of the benefits is that they can learn how to connect with their intuitive mind. And by doing so, they learn to have trust. They learn how to access information from within. Some of them who are more into spirituality, they start connecting with their spirit guides or their higher self, which is also part of their intuitive mind. So for some people, it goes into this direction. Some people have very clear and very specific questions, and even very practical questions related to their daily lives. Some people, they have questions related to a business that they would like to start or so on. And for all this, we can access information at a deeper level by connecting with their subconscious mind. So usually the benefit that comes through such a session is that they get the information, but not from the normal, the random mind, but from that deeper state in which, let's say, the information is much more aligned with their heart and their own highest intentions. So I would say these are the most benefits of a channeling session, but so many things can come up. So many things. There are people who discover very deep connections with other star systems. There are people who discover that they already have such gifts and they can also channel. There are people who discover that they have healing gifts and so on, and they start opening them up by working in the direction of uplifting their vibration. So there are indeed so many things that can actually open up through such a session, and it goes quite differently for everyone. So that there is good to remain open in this way.
Yeah. I think it was Ambrose that mentioned healing as well. There is a lot of healing that happens, and I know this is a little bit different with each channel. Can you just briefly tell us on the healing aspect of a channeling session?
Firstly, the healing aspect occurs because you step into another vibration. Therefore, it feels like coming back home. It feels like now I remember what I truly am. Because you tune into that side of yourself, which is your true heart. You tune into your intuition. You leave the mind outside. Right. Therefore, automatically, a process of healing starts happening. Besides that, of course, there is healing that takes place by recognizing some old patterns, which are not really useful anymore, which do not serve us anymore. There is healing happening because you reconnect with your cosmic family or your spirit guides or so on. Therefore, you start receiving guidance, and in this way, you feel very much protected and in a much better flow with life itself. Yes. And there is healing happening because you learn how to live outside of stories that are not for your own highest benefit. You learn how to live those outside and how to create, how to manifest at a much deeper level, how to be in service for humanity, how to tap back into that side of you, which we call the ocean of love, and how to act out of there. So it's healing is happening at many levels, and there are many layers, and of course it happens differently for many people.
Yeah, okay, I love that. All right, Octavia, before we get you to channel, tell us who you are going to be connecting with today, and welcome everyone, by the way, Georgia and Ambrose. I mean, my dad's here. I'm very excited for him to be here. So who are you going to be connecting with, and how do you actually connect, and yeah, how does the channeling start?
I will connect with the 9-dimensional Pleiadian collective. They are my favorite ones. They are the first ones on my channel. Therefore, I feel that today is a good opportunity to connect with them. They present themselves as being 26 light beings, which are connected with the Pleiades. And that's because they said that they had lives, like incarnations, in the plane of the Pleiades. They have created a collective mind. They can function individually as well, but whenever I channel them, they come together into this collective, which they have called the 9-dimensional Pleiadian collective. Okay. So I'm very happy to do so
Cool.
today.
Okay, yes. So go ahead and everybody watching, remember you can pose your question that you would like to ask the Ninth Dimensional Pleiadian Collective. We'll be speaking sort of directly with them. I've got some questions here, but I'm happy to ask some of the questions that you guys pose, so feel free. And with that said, we're excited for this. Thank you, Octavia, and we'll see you at the end of the channeling.
So to answer you the second question, sorry, when I connect with them, I simply go within myself. I release any kind of thoughts. I let my mind be completely empty. And then through a clear intention, I tune into their frequency. I've learned to do this in time. Yeah, it was not so easy in the beginning. I used to do it through automatic writing. There were many other methods. In the beginning, it could have taken quite a while to do it. Nowadays, I just close my eyes. I tap into their frequency, and this is how I invite them to come through. So please enjoy. Please ask them the questions that you wish to ask them, and see you after.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
We greet you with love, we greet you with light, we bring so much joy into this transmission, and we kindly invite you all to tap into this joy by bringing your attention into your heart, opening your heart so you can embody this transmission. We love to be here with you. We are always delighted to feel your presence, and of course we are very much delighted to answer your questions. We love to do so.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I am going to start off with a question that I think every human being would love to know. And it was a question that was asked by somebody to me recently, and that is, what happens when we die?
We thank you very much for your question, and we really appreciate your curiosity in this way. We also think that it is indeed a very good question, because it's something that as a human being, you don't really explore, you don't really have the experience of it during your life, and you also, of course, don't know too much about it. Therefore, you most probably are going to find our answer quite funny. And that's because we would say not much happens, at least from our point of view. And that's because we do not consider that there is any kind of that actually happens. Of course, from your point of view, if you're very much identified with the physical body, if you're identified with the person, and the entire story that you have developed during your lifetime, then when that happens, you would feel very much taken out, being removed completely out of this story. For some beings, this might mean to switch to another reality by starting to access a different range of frequencies. For some people, for some beings, this might cause quite some pain because of their attachment towards the lives that they had. For some people, this might come actually very easy, because what happens most of the time is that suddenly you tap into a higher vibrational field. Why so? Because you reconnect, you realign with your spirit. Therefore, what you actually call dying is a very natural process in which you shift your consciousness back to the level of your spirit. This means that you start feeling more peace, you suddenly feel at ease. You also observe how the mind remains as it is, and it is just that you create much faster, which means that after you leave the physical body, you're going to experience a new reality in a quite different way. You are going to notice how this new reality is being formed out of your thoughts and a certain vibration, and how this actually happens very, very fast. Therefore, it's like just imagining it and being there immediately. So we would say that for most of you, it simply happens. It's much less traumatic that you might think so. It's just a shift in your consciousness. It just means to shift your consciousness to a new range of frequencies and to experience a new reality. Once again, you get to be realigned with your spirit. Therefore, everything should go just fine. You shall feel much better, much lighter, reunited with your soul family, and so on. But there are also beings who might have developed quite some attachment for their worldly lives. And for these beings, this process might come a bit more difficult than for others. For these beings, we are very much here, we are very much supportive, and there are many other cosmic beings who offer their guidance and support when this happens. We also want to share with you that your perspective about dying is going to change a lot in the future years. It's going to change a lot. And this is because by now you have assumed that dying is something negative. You have given it you have formed quite a strong conditioning about it. It comes usually with a lot of attachment, with a lot of pain. This is going to change completely in the future years. This is because you're going to enhance your connection with the spirit world, and you're going to start actually having an idea about what the spirit world means. And you're going to find out that you're already functioning here and in that spirit world in the same time. Therefore, dying will not be so much significant, and it might be not even called dying as you call it today, as you call it nowadays. We thank you very much for this awesome question.
Thank you. That's great. Good to know. Ambrose asked about the Gaia's changing into the fifth dimension. There's a lot of talk in the spiritual world about Gaia ascending or changing into this fifth dimension. What does this mean? What does the 3D versus the 5D mean? And what happened to the fourth dimension as well?
Once again, we thank you very much for your wise question. And we want to share with you that indeed this transformation happens not only for Gaia, but for the entire humanity. You are one with Gaia. You're not separated from it. She's not separated from you. You're all shifting. You're not shifting directly into the fifth dimension. You're shifting from the third dimensional field of consciousness to the fifth dimensional one, going through the fourth dimension. Now, why there are not so many people talking about the fourth dimension? Well, it's simply because you're heading from the third one towards the fifth one, and people's mind love to focus on where they wish to get. Therefore, your focus is very much in the future, it's very much onto the fifth dimension, but the entire process happens naturally with you going through the four-dimensional consciousness before you're actually completely shifting into the fifth dimensional field of consciousness. And what actually means? Well, it means to shift, once again, it means to shift from a specific range of frequencies to another range of frequencies, which you call higher frequencies. It means to shift your perspective from the condition that you have assumed, you have tapped into, which says, I am separated, I am this body, I am this person, I am this name. You're shifting into, I know that I am the one field of consciousness, and that everyone is that one field of consciousness. I'm not separated in any way. So this doesn't happen from one day to another. It also doesn't happen so fast. There are many other perspectives and beliefs and even belief systems that you're going to be aligned with during this journey. But it actually happens, and we wish to share with you that it happens faster and faster. And many people raise the vibration, many people started to awaken to how to uplift their vibration and how to tap into that one field of consciousness. There is a great difference in perspectives, and this we would like to bring into your attention. The reality that you refer to is much more fluid than the three-dimensional mind can perceive it, can have the view over it. And this means that there is not only one reality. Therefore, there are human beings who have already shifted into the fifth dimension. There is an earth, which is completely fifth dimensional earth. There is an earth, which is a four-dimensional one, and there is an earth, which is a third-dimensional one, and many other parallel realities in all between those. Therefore, we will say that right now you are continuously shifting from one timeline to another upon your own vibrational state. Whenever you wish to crystallize a timeline, you need to know how to maintain that uplifted vibrational state, which means that you will need to be in control over your mind. You will need to have a very positive mind and to know exactly what you're creating. In this way, you'll learn how to crystallize those higher vibrational timelines. And we made available, we have created along with humanity such a high vibrational timeline, which is called the New Earth. And we support humanity at this time very much to all start crystallizing that timeline and to all move on that specific timeline by uplifting your vibration, by starting to create what you truly wish to create instead of allowing your three-dimensional mind to create all those negative stories that are not aligned with your heart. For this, we are very much next to you. We support you, we nurture you with our love and our messages, and we take care that many of you can actually shift to the fifth dimension. We thank you very much for this question.
Thank you so much. My friend Asha posted a question not too long ago, and she was saying that there is still so much pain and suffering in the world. When is this going to end? When are we going to move to a lighter earth, to a more peaceful earth? Is that in our future? And when is that coming?
Once again, it depends a lot on where you're looking. Because as we said, the reality is much more fluid than the three-dimensional mind perceives it, which means that that world that you wish for, that world that you wish to have the experience of is already there. What you actually need to do is to shift your frequency so you can experience that reality. And as you continue to look into pain, as you continue to look into suffering in the world, as you continue to look into wars and to suffer because of them, even when you're not in the midst of the war, then your attention goes there and it crystallizes further those timelines. As you move your attention from there to what you really wish to create, you're shifting to those highest frequencies and you're crystallizing those higher timelines. Once again, this doesn't mean to take your attention completely from pain and to ignore it. We do not refer to that. If that pain is yours, if that pain already exists within yourself, then we would invite you to stay with it, to look at it, to embrace it, but not to embrace it out of your mind stories, but to really embrace it as a vibration which exists within you. When you do so, that vibration is being released automatically. But if there is pain, if there is suffering out there in your world and you wish to do something about it, then the best thing to do is to send love, to nurture that, to send your compassion, to do the best that you can through your high vibrational state to transform that. If you cannot do so, then don't bring your attention there, because you're supporting those timelines and you're creating them further. And this is not what you wish to do. And once again, your reality is much more fluid than you can imagine. It is much more fluid. If you shift right now to another range of frequencies and imagine that this happens exactly as it happens when you shift to another TV channel, you're going to experience another world which derives, which is created out of those higher frequencies. Therefore, a very good question to ask yourself is, what do I wish to create? What do I wish to create? Do I wish to create pain? Do I wish to create suffering? Do I wish to create war? Or do I wish to create a new earth which is born out of love, trust, and compassion? And then you keep your attention on those timelines. Once again, we thank you so much for your amazing questions.
Thank you so much. I've got a question from my dad, Felipe, who says, if you communicate with people in other galaxies, according to Einstein, nothing can travel faster than the speed of light. So any communication would take a long time. Then how do you communicate with people from far away?
Well, thank you very much for your question. Once again, this is a very interesting one. We would say that you do not have the answer yet in your world. You do not have the understanding of it, because this kind of communication, which is actually a telepathic communication, it happens in no time. Therefore, we would not relate to space and time when it comes to it, but rather the communication itself, it happens beyond the dimension that you're referring to, because the dimension that you're referring to happens in space and time. It's hard for the three-dimensional, for the usual human mind to understand that there is a telepathic communication that happens beyond the dimension that you're very much accustomed with. That, once again, is beyond time. Therefore, we would say that it doesn't even happen immediately. It simply happens in no time. It's timeless. It's beyond time. It's a communication that happens from one vibrational state to another, and it happens in terms of frequency. Therefore, you're very close as humanity to also to understand that. There is a lot of activity in your scientific fields to reach there. And actually in the further years, this is going to be found out and is going to be explored much more than it's nowadays. Once again, we thank you very much for your question.
Thank you. Renee asked a question about her spirit guides. I'd like to change it a little bit because I'd like this to be for everybody. Do we have spirit guides? What is that exactly? And how can we communicate with them? How can we listen to them? And she was saying, you know, sometimes she sees things before they happen. Is that them, for example? Is that your spirit guide telling you that, you know, warning you, I suppose?
You definitely have spirit guides, and you keep them closer to you whenever you relate to them. For example, whenever you try to actually connect with them, whenever you bring your attention on them through your intentions as well, you actually enhance your communication with your spirit guides. It happens as well that for those who do not have such a wish, even for those, their spirit guides are very much next to them. It's just that because their messages are not being heard clearly, maybe that connection is somehow not being recognized as it is for those who have a very clear intention to connect with them. We would say that if you wish to enhance that connection, if you really wish to be guided by your spirit guides, and of course, they can deliver you information about your future as well. Why? Because there is actually no future. As we said, everything happens in the present moment. Because the three-dimensional mind doesn't know that, but your spirit guides do not function in the third dimension, they function in the fifth dimension. Of course, they can deliver information about your so-called future. And once again, to enhance your connection with your spirit guides, it's really important first to have the intention to do so and to bring that intention out of your heart through the space of your heart. And then to shift to that state of relaxation, that state in which you relax your mind, you relax your body, you come back to your heart, which is the space of silence and love, and you bring your intention there, and then you allow your spirit guides to approach you without expecting anything. And your spirit guides might approach you directly. They might share a message with you immediately. That might be a word, that might be a sentence, that those might be images that will come to you, and so on. Or this might happen in a quite different way. It might happen by them bringing their messages through other people that will come into your life. That might bring their messages through your friends, to your family, to your beloved ones, and so on. But however this is going to happen, whenever you bring up that intention, they will try to connect with you. Be sure they will try to connect with you. You just need to have trust, to pay attention, to really open your eyes and to realize that whatever comes into your life is really significant. It's really important. There is nothing to ignore. There is no moment in which you shall be at sleep, but we would invite you to remain fully aware, fully present, so you can tap into the energy of your spirit guides. Once again, we thank you so much for your question.
Thank you, thank you. One that's just come in from Catalina. She says, what is the connection with the human being and the Schumann resonance of our Mother Earth? She says her husband heard the sound of Gaia the other night when he was about to fall asleep. I'm not familiar with this, so.
Well, thank you for your question. Of course, your heart is the heart of Gaia. Gaia's heart is your heart. Please remember, you are one field of consciousness. You're not separated. Of course, that what your beloved planet feels, this is what you feel. What you feel, this is what she feels. Therefore, the vibrational field of the planet influences your state of mind, it influences your emotions, it influences the way in which you create, it influences even the way in which you connect with your cosmic families and your spirit guides. Therefore, if you wish to really align yourself with the vibration of the planet, and that would be something that we really recommend for you to do. If you wish to align yourself with the vibration of the planet, then we would invite you to spend plenty of time outside, to be aware of the phases of the moon, to be aware of how your planet relates to other planets and with other star systems, to be very much a line of your connection with the natural elements and to nurture those. And how you nurture them? Well, by taking your time outside, by creating your own rituals, by creating your own ceremonies, by sharing your blessings with Mother Earth, by laying on the earth and feeling her vibration, by inviting her to heal you and to shift the vibration of your body. Some people already have this natural quality, this natural ability or gift. Some people feel whenever your beloved planet shifts its vibration, shifts its frequency, many of you feel it. And many of you even open new gifts because of these shifts that happen periodically. But some of you will need to return your attention there to become once again aware of the deep connection that it is between you and your beloved Gaia. Therefore, we invite mostly those of you who have forgotten, those of you who have turned your attention to other things, maybe to more artificial things of your world, to bring your attention back to nature. That will have such a nurturing effect upon your souls. That will keep you very much in tune with Gaia. And there is something else that happens when you shift your vibration and you align it back to the vibration of your planet. It happens that your perception upon time changes. Why? Because time actually is perceived by the three-dimensional mind as having past, present, and future, which is a linear vision upon time. It separates, it fragments time into these three options. But as you realign with the vibration of the planet, what happens is that you start perceiving time as being cyclic, as turning around, as creating and recreating a certain cycle. And you learn how to tap, how to access information by changing your perspective, changing your vision upon time. For example, because your vision says time is linear, I cannot really travel in time. But as you shift back to your beloved Gaia's vibration, you realize that time is cyclic. You realize that you can travel in any moment in time. You realize that you can access the past moments as you can access the future moments right from here. Therefore, this is one more opportunity, and it is one more recommendation that comes from us to support our suggestion of tapping back into the vibration of your beloved Gaia. Thank you so much for this question.
Great, thank you. I think we'll ask the last question before we close off. Why did we come here to live this life as human beings? Why did we choose to incarnate and have this experience?
Thank you very much for this question as well. Well, there are two answers. And one of them says that actually not all of you have consciously chosen to be here. Actually, unfortunately, it happened that for most of you didn't actually choose, you haven't actually chosen to reincarnate on Earth. That happened because the conscious mind was not completely aware of the whole process related to what happens after you leave the previous physical body. Therefore, many of you have reincarnated on Earth because of your past lives on Earth. Many of you have done so almost automatically because of your own desires that pushed you once again into reincarnating. And many of you have done so because of your strong attachment to experiencing life in such a human body. Though there are also those of you, and we have the feeling that right now we are talking here a lot with those of you who have actually reincarnated on Gaia at this time, and you have done it consciously, you have done it intentionally, because you wanted to be here at this time. Why? So you can support the shifting of the planetary vibration, so you can support the expansion of human consciousness, so you can live all this. There are many of you here who are actually ascended masters who have decided to once again reincarnate at this time so you can bring back the ancient teachings. There are many of you who are actually angels and light beings and great cosmic supporters who have decided to remain perfectly connected with your fifth dimensional selves, but to also function in this physical body so you can bring your messages through your own actions and to contribute in this way at the huge shift that happens right now. So once again, we have the feeling that right now we are very much talking with those of you who have reincarnated here in such a way. And you have all of our support to continue your missions here. You have all of our support to keep going, to bring your light, to bring your love, to bring your courage to be different, to think differently, to do things differently. Even if you might seem weird, even if your actions are not very common, they are not very much aligned with what other people do, even if the way in which you think is very different, but just to remain as you are, to continue to have trust, to continue to act out of that state of love, of that very high vibrations that you are continuously accessing. Therefore, we are very, very grateful to those of you who have taken these missions. We are very grateful and we support you to continue on your pathways, to continue to have trust, continue to open your hearts, continue to receive and to channel our messages. We are beyond grateful to all those of you who do so. We love you.
Thank you. Thanks, Octavia. Are you back?
So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
How does this feel for you? Just we're gonna close off in 2 minutes. I'd love to know what this feels like when you channel for you.
There is definitely much more enthusiasm coming in. Maybe that enthusiasm in which I would actually love to function all the time, but it's still like I try to do so, and probably most of the time I can do so. But still, when I connect with them, there is so much enthusiasm coming in, so much joy, so much love.
Yeah.
So many creative ideas,
Yeah.
and it definitely doesn't really feel that I'm there in an active way.
Yeah.
It almost feels like I'm at rest or almost sleeping, but being aware, but watching, like
Yeah.
having a very restful mind, not doing anything actively, almost like sleeping, but still being there, watching and listening in the same time as you listen.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting because there is always a lesson that they bring, and as they bring it for you, they bring it for me as well, which is lovely. It's lovely because in the beginning it was really weird. I was watching my own videos and learning from them, and watching other videos as well while channeling and learning from them, and I kept going like this for a while. And of course, in the beginning, that looked and it was very weird.
Yeah.
But I actually learn in the same time as you learn, and that's really wonderful. That's really beautiful. And I'm also very grateful to be a channel for you all, to be here with you all. And yes, as my motto says, I'm here for you.
Thank you. And you delivered beautifully. Thank you so much, Octavia. I'd like to close off to also say that anybody can book a session with you, a private session through Oracle. If you go to our channelers page, Octavia's there, and our sessions are 1 hour long. And there's availability that you can choose from. So yeah, wonderful. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. Thank you for all the messages. Thank you for all the thank yous. We will be back next month, the first Sunday of every month, and it will be either 1 o'clock or 2 p.m. I can't remember now, New York time, but you can check back on our Facebook page. So thanks so much, everyone. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the support, and thank you, Octavia. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much for your invitation. See you next time. Love to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.